whose primary job is to keep the ruling party's toes to the fire. Yes, it controls a negligible minority in parliament, yet it can voice its dissent in a loud way, if only to focus its broader anger against the status quo and into specific alternative plans. But alas, the opposition in my country is very troublous, a situation that's not helped by circuitous court proceedings. This, in turn, has provoked mass defections, mostly into the ruling party. The electorate is seemingly helpless. The opposition is aghast. What way forward? We cannot afford stagnation. Shall we provoke a debate, therefore? My guest, Nelson Ekujimi, who is an activist and a national affairs analyst, is here. Nelson, I greet you.
I greet you, Stephen Jones. Good day, our viewers.
Yeah, Nelson, opposition politics is something we must talk about. We need the opposition. As I said in my opener, just to keep the ruling party on its toes. Constructive opposition, we say, or criticism. Nelson, I take your mind to the days when the current president was in opposition, and you cannot forget Alhaji Lai Mohammed. Looks like the bite is no longer there. Or what do you think?
I cannot agree less with you, Stephen Jones, because when you mentioned that name, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the opposition started losing its teeth
and steam.
Lost its steam, not losing.
Yeah.
Lost its steam when the ruling party dislodged the then ruling party, but now in opposition, the PDP, in 2015. Because I remember vividly well, pre-2015, in a single day, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, then the spokesperson of the opposition party, who issue 7 press statements. You issue one in the morning, by 10 a.m. another one follows, by 12, and these statements were tailored to issues, pinpointing the lacuna or the shortcomings of government policies. And
of course, don't forget, he is a lawyer.
He's a lawyer, yeah, and he's also a journalist. So it was it was a 2-in-1 combo. To put it that way. And that was an opposition you looked up to, and you were very happy that our democracy was at its best, because it was a vibrant opposition that kept the ruling party, on its toes. That even when the ruling party's officials, the ruling party as well as the government of the day, when they were going to bed, I'm sure they will look through the news. What has Alhaji Lai Mohammed said again today? Alhaji Lai Mohammed became a thorn in the flesh of the then ruling party.
Also remember that the ruling party at the time controlled 31 of the 36 states.
Of the 36 states, yes. But the opposition was such that you wouldn't know that the opposition was negligible in size. The opposition was like an elephant in the room compared to the ruling party. So that tells you clearly the effect of an opposition in a democracy, because an opposition in democracy is not negotiable.
Okay.
Because the role of an opposition is to, like you said in your prologue, is to keep the government of the day on its toes, is to look at issues, to say where the government has done right, to say yes, you have done right here, but if you have gone this way, it would have been better. To profile alternatives, to provoke debate, discussions, and you could see that the steam of the opposition in 2015 was what led to the dislodgement of the ruling party from power.
Okay.
And ever since then, We have had opposition that has become infantile, petty, and pedestrian in conduct as well as in utterances. Unlike
hence what I mean by a troublous opposition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since 2015, immediately President Muhammadu Buhari came into office, we had an opposition that instead of focusing on issues of the day, would tell you, oh, the president is wearing 3 agbada, as if there's a crime. That's why I told you that the opposition in a way has weakened. The opposition has weakened our democracy, I must tell you. Not the ruling party.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because when the ruling party was in opposition, they held our democracy up with both arms.
Yeah.
That you were either for the ruling party or you were for the opposition. But now that we have a ruling party in place, we have an opposition that when they make some statements, when they issue press releases, you wonder, what must you talk for talking's sake?
Yeah, Nelson, but you see, now the picture has changed. Today, as we sit here, Peter Obi's personal brand took the Labour Party from one of the also rans. It has 7 seats in the Senate as we sit here, 35 seats in the House of Reps, 1 governorship in Abia State. Recall the PDP that governed from between 1999 to 2015 has 115 House of Reps seats as we sit here, 37 senators, 11 state governors. Abga has 1 governor, Labour Party 1 governor, APC 22 governors,
and the New Nigerian People's Party 1 governor.
1 governor.
Yes, you see,
totaling 36.
Yes, you see, the Labour Party that you have mentioned rode on the crest wind of that our divisive, tendencies. You recollect that in 1993, when late MK Abiola ran on the SDP ticket, and he ran with a Baba Gana Kingibe. Alhaji MK Abiola was a Muslim from Yoruba land from the southwest. Alhaji Baba Gana Kingibe was a Muslim from Borno State.
But you remember the Muslim ticket was touted as not being good for Nigeria.
As that was our shining days.
Yeah, Nelson. But do you know today?
Yeah.
The president is a Muslim. The vice is a Muslim.
Yes,
but does it matter?
No, it matters.
Should it matter?
No, it shouldn't matter. But it matters because some persons have always used religion and ethnicity to divide us. Don't forget, you are talking about a Peter Obi now.
Yeah.
This was a Peter Obi that was caught pants down in a telephone conversation with a cleric, telling him, "Oh, daddy, yes, daddy, this is a religious war." And when you talk about the Peter Obi coming on stream in 2023, he also rode on the mantra of those who were plurring the Muslim ticket. Because you recollect that I've had for 8 years while President Muhammadu Buhari was in the saddle, a lot of us were in support of government policies that benefited the people. But a lot of our people felt we were supporting a Fulani man whom, when he was coming into office, they told us was going to Fulanize Nigeria and Islamize Nigeria. And at the end of 8 years in power, I went back to a lot of them. I said, please, can you point to me one local government or a ward or a street that became Islamized under Buhari? That is how terrible we have sunk as a people. And even before,
so you think it's a vestige of opposition politics in Nigeria?
Yes, absolutely, it's a vestige of. And also, don't forget, Citizen Jones, you remember in the Second Republic,
okay,
when we had in Lagos here, we had a Alhaji Lateef Jakonde, a Muslim, as the governor. And we had the Rafiu Jafojo. Nobody gave it. Nobody bothered. In fact, in 1993, let me also remind you, when MK Abiola chose Babagana Kingibe as his running mate, and the opposition, we ran two-party system under Babangida, the SDP and the NRC.
Don't forget, Babangida first gave Abiola Pascal Bafia.
Yes.
A Christian. Who was the NLC
president. He rejected it. When Abiola chose, the NLC had a Christopher Ugu.
Okay.
Sylvester Ugu, sorry.
Sylvester Ugu.
As the presidential, as the running mate to Alhaji Bashir Tofa.
Yeah.
Sylvester Ugu was a Christian. Bashir Tofa, the candidate, was a Muslim from Kano, Tofa local government in Kano State. People said, oh, MK Abiola can never win. How can you bring a Muslim? But Nigerians came out publicly and said, look, even if MK Abiola and his running mate are worshipping stones, we have seen in these candidates the capacity and capability to turn our fortunes around for good. So it doesn't matter where they come from.
But he won the election fair and square, regardless.
He even defeated Alhaji Bashir Tofa in Tofa village in Kano State, a Yoruba man winning an election against an Hausa man in Kano.
A son of the soil.
A son of the soil. So that was the beauty of it. But come 2023, after the Babangida annulment, the danger of the Babangida annulment that still subsists today is that the attempt to unify the Nigerian people was broken by that annulment, that treasonable. Because what Babangida committed by annulling that election was treasonable felony. I don't think it is only Nnamdi Kanu that should be standing trial for terrorism. Babangida also should be standing trial now for treasonable felony, if we are serious people. Because he annulled the democratic mandate of the Nigerian people, which under the law, he had no powers to do.
Yeah.
Forget about whether he's trying to deflect the blame. Oh, it was done by Abacha or Dongo Yaro. That is none of our business, because he was the man on the saddle and the buck stopped on his table then.
Yeah. So
coming to 2025, the opposition today is in disarray. The opposition, you talk about the new government, the federal government twin policy, economic policies, removal of fuel subsidy, as well as the unification of the exchange rate system.
Just to save the national currency.
Just to save the national currency and to save the national economy.
Yeah.
Because the fuel subsidy regime was one that had made our federalism to become what a former deputy Senate president, who is now languishing in jail in UK, described as feeding bottle democracy. A democracy where states were running around looking for pittance as allocations, and at the end of the day, they were unable to pay salaries, not to talk of fulfilling their democratic obligations to the people.
Yeah.
But under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu today, the issue about states owing salaries is a thing of the past. States, federal government, state government, as well as local government are now getting 3 times their allocations.
Yeah. The
money they get from the federal accounts. So we have an economic system in place today that we have no other alternative, because even the other 2 major candidates in 2023 also promised to toe same line. Only for them, you recollect, I think we should also remind our viewers that in 2022, when the then about to exit government introduced the cash confiscation policy called Naira Redesign, and the APC candidate, the candidate of the ruling party, was critical of that policy because of the pain and anguish it brought to the Nigerian people. The opposition were clapping for the government then, thinking they would benefit from that pain. Only for when the courts now gave a judgment against that policy, they now started siding with the court. And we're like, what sort of human beings are these? That they are exhibiting their hypocrisy shamelessly.
Nelson, as we sit here, we need a new opposition front. So, what way forward? we are looking at option B for opposition.
The option B for opposition is the people. And what do I mean by this? The opposition, whether the media that is supposed to perform that role,
yeah,
has failed woefully. The media has taken sides. Just 2 days ago, or even as we are sitting here, I'm sure they are cooking up another fake story. They can wake up in the morning, by the time we end this program and we look into the papers or into the media, you get information that cannot be substantiated.
Nelson, I got hit when the news came that Mr. President had kicked the Chief of Army Staff
and the Minister for Power. Yes.
But turned out to be fake.
Yes, turned out to be fake. So we've had an avalanche. That is the new swan song of the opposition. Look at the Labour Party candidate, for example, in the 2022 election. He will go outside the country or wherever. There is a man, the other day, he was castigating the Nigerian government for the number of out-of-school children. Meanwhile, a critic asked him that in his 8 years as governor in Anambra State, that he should mention a block of classroom he built to aid education. He said yes, he didn't do anything. But 8 years after, the man wants to become a moral compass. He doesn't see anything good in the Nigerian people, neither does he see anything good in the Nigerian nation. Is this the type of opposition we want? Rather, we want an opposition that will say, look, these are the problems. This is the way around it. Yeah. It's not for you to continuously say, oh, Nigeria is bad, Nigeria is bad, Nigeria has failed. If Nigeria has failed, what is the way forward? How can we remedy? Because as we speak, we have no other country. We are not a perfect people, and there are no perfect people or perfect country anywhere in the world.
Go and ask Trump's America.
Yes, we are a people that daily confronts our challenges, and our challenges comes in different shapes and forms. But as a people, we have resolved not to give up. That we want to leave this space a better place than we inherited from our parents. Because if our parents had not made their own, if they had not played their own roles, we will not be here today.
Nelson, today, politicians have defected into the ruling
party
or ruling APC.
Yes.
To the effect that the chairman board of trustees of the PDP, Senator, what's his name? I've forgotten. I'll pick it up. Says there'll be an implosion in the APC.
Well,
aren't you seeing the sentiment? You don't share the sentiment with him?
No, I don't share the sentiment with him because you know why? The political realities that would have allowed for the opposition to still have a breath of air was extinguished by the opposition, the main opposition then in 2023, when they defied the zoning arrangement even within their party. Because it was agreed, even though it's unwritten, that if the North expends 2 terms or 2 tenures, then power should shift to the South. Even in states, for example, in my Ondo state, in the former, the ex-trial governor before the late governor, that's Olusegun Mimiko, was from Ondo Central. After 8 years of Mimiko, the people of the state say power should go to the north. And that was why Olurotimi Akeredolu became the governor.
Bless his soul.
Bless his soul, for 2 terms. And now power, after the north, the people of the state also agreed that power must go to the south, that has produced Lucky Ayedatiwa. So at the end of Ayedatiwa's tenure now,
the
central senatorial zone, we have another shot at the governorship of the state. Same thing applies to the presidency of Nigeria, that it must be for equity, for justice, for fairness, for national peace and security. It should rotate for equity's sake. If the North have its shot after the tenure of the North, so that everybody will have a sense of belonging, so that we won't have this feeling of master-servant relationship, because we are all freeborn citizens of Nigeria. But the PDP defied its own rules, and that is why today it has become more like a carcass. That even elected governors, senators under the party, if you go to you mentioned that they have a 100 and is it 105?
115.
115
in the House of Reps.
In the House of Reps. As of today, if you take the count in the House of
37 senators.
As of today, if you take the count in the House of Reps, they have been defeated by defections. Even in the Senate, remember the senator representing Delta, Nedwoko, defected.
Central, Delta, Central.
Some other ones also defected. So
the three.
The three. So this is even in Rivers. You can also see the same thing. So this is a party already that is in crisis. So I wonder why.
So what do you think is the major trouble with the opposition?
The major trouble with the opposition is the lack of internal democracy and sincerity of purpose. If you as a people, if you have look for example,
is that not a metaphor for what's happening nationally?
Absolutely.
Our politicians can't be trusted.
No, even the average Nigerian can't be trusted. You know why? Because we're people who believe in Sogundogoji. That is why a lot of our people fell for the CBEX scam. People no longer believe in hard work. People want to get rich quick at all costs. And also to butter that assertion. You remember a former anti-corruption Caesar, Ibrahim Magu, told us that some Nigerian mothers have formed the association of Yahoo mothers. So that is what we have become. But that does not represent us as a people. It is just the dark side of us. We also have our bright sides. There are persons in Nigeria today that are not ready to reap where they did not sow. But today, the opposition, because the opposition does not have a grasp of the issues, they are not interested in issues anymore.
We also talk about our fault lines.
Yes, our fault lines. Yes, absolutely.
They are there.
Our fault lines are there. And instead of our opposition political parties, the opposition camps, to recognize that the issues in Nigeria goes beyond the fault lines. There are some persons who are of influence who will not run along with you because you want to feed on the fault lines. I'll tell you for free. As a Yoruba man, I remember vividly well when President Muhammadu Buhari was in the saddle. A lot of our people were like, if these Fulani people, and I'm like, look, President Muhammadu Buhari will come and go. Nigeria will remain. Why are you dwelling on our fault lines? Because we are Yorubas. We should not see eye to eye. Which one among us? The question I always ask is that which one among us had an intervention in where he was born?
Who determined where he was going?
Yes, who determined where he was going to be born? I could have been somebody from Kanuri.
If you had a choice.
If I had a choice, yes. But because my maker wanted me to be here, that's why I'm here today. So when you try to deflect or try to educate people to let us move away from, I recognize our fault lines. They are very, very valid. But we should not allow that to becloud our sense of judgment in everything we do, or else we'll miss the track totally and we run into the bush. So the opposition...
Let's begin to take this home now. So we need a new opposition front, as you agree?
Absolutely.
So plan B.
The new opposition should be the people.
Okay.
Explain government policies. Looking at the pros and cons.
Discussing them dispassionately.
Dispassionately. And not somebody telling you, Mr. President is working with a limp. As if Mr. President is the maker of his own system. Even as the poor man dies, so also do the rich also. The rich also die, not only cry.
Yeah.
So somebody will tell you, Mr.
The poor also yell.
The poor also yell.
So like the
opposition should be the people who should not allow themselves to be used as pawns,
kicked around
by people who want to, profit politically from our fault lines. The people should be the opposition, and if the media wants to come on board, they are free, but they must recognize that unless they put their acts together, the role that the media used to play as the guiding light of any democracy in the past, the Nigerian media is gradually losing it. I remember when I was growing up as a boy, when I read any story in the media, it's the gospel truth, but not any longer. You are afraid.
So you think the media dropped the ball?
They have dropped the ball. I must tell you, they have dropped the ball. And that is why today, the major thriving business in the media is fake news. Every now and then, persons, institutions, government come out to debunk.
Nelson, even the Oyibo people,
Yes,
who brought this business to us,
Yes.
Journalism.
Yes.
There's such a
but
thing.
we had our own local media in those days.
No, there's such a thing known as citizen journalism.
Yes.
Citizen journalism.
Yeah.
So if I was going down a street and I witnessed a news-making event, I record it, take it to a recognized media house, and ensure it gets pushed out.
Well, before it gets pushed out, the media station will have to investigate it. They won't just push out your story.
Yeah.
They have to send somebody there, call people around to verify whether you made up this story or that story is correct. So the media has dropped the ball, and if the media is not careful in this new opposition we are trying to do, the media will be kicked to the back door. They'll be out of the space. Don't forget, we should not also forget.
And what takes over?
The citizen journalism. Because in the past, we have always recognized the media as the fourth estate of the realm.
Yeah.
The media is as important as any other institution in a democracy. That is why the role of the media is indispensable.
And that's why we ask that gentlemen, true gentlemen, be recruited into the state.
Absolutely. So the opposition we want is an opposition that is issues-based.
Yeah.
That will introspect issues. If we have said, okay, look, for example, the federal government recently said she's going to install solar panels on the at the seat of power, Aso Rock. And people were like, the government wants to remove the Aso Rock villa from the national grid, that they are going to waste 10 billion.
Yeah.
Forgetting
precluding local solar.
Yes. Forgetting the fact that by deploying an alternative source of power, we help to reduce the cost of running government, which we have all clamored for from time immemorial. It will also help to ensure that we have cleaner energy. The government will also be in the forefront of the advocacy for cleaner energy, so that other people will also come on board. As we speak, a lot of homes, businesses have embraced, the cleaner energy option.
Yeah.
So that is how pedestrian some of these arguments have become.
So the big idea is to phase out fossil fuels.
Yes, phase out fossil fuel. Because fossil fuel is no longer cheap; it's becoming too expensive. It has become a source of friction.
Nature has given us renewable
energy. Yes, nature has given us. So let us tap into it, so that we'll be the better for it.
Okay, Nelson, we'll apply the brakes here, not before thanking you for your intervention. We discussed Nigeria's troublous opposition. We have agreed that there should be a new opposition front in this country.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, there must be a plan B for opposition groups. Nelson Ekujimi, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
We're out of here, and the issues keep coming like the rainfall. So we'll be here next time. Bye-bye.
On behalf of Prince Bisi Olatilo, the esteemed Olatilo family, and the entire Biscon Communications team, we extend our deepest and most profound gratitude to everyone who made the celebration of 50 years of broadcasting excellence and 25 years of the Bisi Olatilo show an unforgettable success. Tuesday, May 13th, 2025 will forever be etched in our collective memory. The historic Shell Hall of the Muson Center, Lagos, came alive as royalty, statesmen, captains of industry, media legends, and cherished friends gathered in honor of a man whose voice, vision, and values have helped shape the Nigerian narrative for 5 remarkable decades. We are especially honored to acknowledge the warm congratulations and recognition from His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who in a heartfelt message rejoiced with Prince Biscon Tv on his 50th anniversary in broadcasting, the 25th anniversary of the Biscon Tv show, and his 71st birthday. The president lauded Prince Olatilo's trailblazing influence across broadcasting, print, advertising, public relations, and strategic communications, describing him as a man who has always placed the unity and progress of the nation first. President Tinubu further commended Prince Olatilo's fluency in Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo, an inspiration to aspiring polyglots, and affirmed that the awards and recognitions, including the Nigerian Media Merit Award, are a testament to a life of hard work, national service, and purpose-driven storytelling. He concluded with prayers for long life, good health, and greater wisdom for continued service to Nigeria and humanity. We are deeply humbled by his presidential honor. To every royal father, distinguished guest, public servant, media veteran, industry